Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jake Bowling5 here. I'm finally back with another video, and I know it's been way too long. I've pretty much only been doing live streams. And I'm actually back with a new kind of video. I'm actually doing a top 5. And I don't know if you guys like top 5s, but I personally like watching top 5, so I thought I'd give one a shot. So, if you guys like it, remember to drop a like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And so I'm doing a top 5 of the most underrated and pretty much cheapest cars really in the game. Like, for some reason, all the cheap cars are underrated. I don't know why, but I just picked top 5 off of me personally, just cars that you never really see in GTA 5 online, and for some reason, a lot of them are cheap and pretty good performance-wise and looks-wise. So with that being said, let's get straight into the top 5. So the number 5 spot I picked is the Benefactor Schwarze, which is an $8,000 car in online, which is very low. So that's a perfect start, really, if you guys are thinking of picking up this car. I think it has great looks. It's actually extremely fast. Like, when I first bought this car, I think I watched a video on it drifting. That's why I bought it at first. But then when I maxed it out and then just drove down a highway, it was actually like extremely fast. Like, I think I got like 120 miles an hour. And in this game, 120 is actually pretty fast. I don't know really if it's like one of the faster sports cars. I don't think so, but I mean for $80,000, like, it's a pretty beast car. So and you guys are about to see the customization here in just a sec, and the customization is pretty top notch. I think you only have about 2 front bumpers. I think 1 back bumper, which is okay, but and it looks good in a lot of different colors, which is always a good thing because some cars don't really look the best in every color. And I went for a dew yellow and I think ice white pearlescent. And I've never used dew yellow. I always thought it was really gross, but I find it actually looks pretty sick now. I don't know if it's because I changed TVs, changed a smaller TV, so that could be a reason why the dew yellow looks nicer. But it just has nice handling. It's not the most grippy car. It does slide, but in a way that's good because some cars can be kind of boring if they don't slide out a little bit every once in a while, you know. So if you guys like this car, it's only $8,000, so that's pretty cheap for GTA 5 standards. And personally, I think great customization, great speed, pretty decent handling, traction. Like I said, not the best, but it's just a fun car to drive, you know. So I'll see you guys in the next pick. So for my number 4 pick, it's another Benefactor. It's a Feltzer, and you guys have probably seen this car online. It used to be really popular, especially when there wasn't all these new DLC cars. But I personally find this car is just like one of the most beauty day 1 cars. Has really good speed, has great traction actually now I think about it. Especially once you get the spoiler on there and you lower the suspension. It's a great car. And you guys will see I personally find this car looks so sick when you customize it. It has so many cool spoilers. And you get a lot for the price. I'm pretty sure it's around 130 grand, 160 maybe. But as you guys can see, it has a lot of carbon fiber, which personally I find is pretty sick on cars. And I personally love the front bumper and the back bumper. It has a lot of canards and splitters. Well, the splitter on the back, sorry, not really a splitter on the front. But I think I went for metallic black with a bright purple pearlescent, which I personally find looks absolutely sick on this car. So yeah, for 130 grand and in that range, 130, 160. I'm pretty sure it's 160, but it might be even cheaper than 130. I don't really exactly know. I haven't bought it in a while. So yeah, it's pretty sad this car is kind of dying out. But let's get into the top 3. Okay, so for my number 3 spot, I picked the Coil Brawler, and the Coil Brawler is pretty much an off-road SUV that is like a car. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's pretty much an SUV car. Like, if you look at it, it's like a car, but it's bulky like an SUV. But I don't really know how to explain it. I just find it's like a definition of a complete off-road beast, really. But it's for some reason really good on road. It's so fast. Has a great acceleration, even though it's like a really heavy car, because it just absolutely beasts through cars. Especially when you put on the bull bar on the front. Even though I did not this time. But that definitely helps with the bull bar, because it, if if you're like me, I hate when my lights get destroyed in this game, because you just can't see, and that really gets on my nerves, especially when you're actually off-roading. But pretty sure this car goes for around 700,000. I'm pretty sure, and 700,000, not the best, but 700,000 is, it's not too much, especially for GTA standards. Like I said, GTA standards now are at least 1 mil to 2 mil, but 700,000 to me is actually, for this car, worth it for sure. Especially in off-road races, there's not really a load of good off-road cars, so this is definitely a good pick. And I love the way the colors are, like the way it's proportioned, like the secondary colors on top, on the bottom, and on the main frame of the main part of the car. So definitely a car that is very underrated and no one really uses. So for my number 2 pick, I picked the Coil Voltic, which is an interesting car. Some people actually really like it, some people don't. I personally think it's actually one of the best cars for the price. I'm pretty sure it's in $100,000 range. Definitely on the lower side of 100,000 if I'm correct. It has been a really long time since I bought it online, but this car is just one of the easiest cars to drive. It has like probably one of the best accelerations besides, I think, the Coil Cyclone. Pretty sure that's the best acceleration, but it just sticks to the ground so nicely in this game. Has great steering. The steering is like instant. It's probably one of like the best steering cars. One of the best steering cars. I'm not gonna say the best because there is probably better ones, but for the price, this is probably the best steering car. And like I said, for pretty sure low 100,000s. Like I've said, for all the other cars, GTA standards, that is very good, especially in the $100,000 range. And the customization is not the best, but it's not the worst either. And I think it looks pretty cool as all black. And pretty good carbon fiber customizations. So time to go on number 1. So for my number 1 pick, I picked a Zentorno. And the reason I picked the Zentorno is because if you really think about now, especially with all the DLC cars, no one ever drives this car. I don't think it's not the most underrated car, but it's kind of one of the most forgotten ones. I think people still respect the speed of it, because this is actually, like, honestly one of my probably my top 3 favorite cars, the Zentorno. It's so good. The only car that's probably better than it is the Prosian and the Wagner. Just for like competitive, like racing and stuff. But this car is just so sick, and the customization is one of the top notch, probably one of the most top notch customization. And this car, to me, looks cool, like in any color, any customization, like any spoiler, because there is some really funky spoilers on this car. I ended up going for the really funky one because in my online version of this car, I used the spoiler that's also on the Entity. The Entity, what's it called? Anyways, I don't really remember what the name of it. Anyways, it's pretty sick, but I decided to go for this because I was actually gonna go for like make it look like a Batmobile, so pretty much how Vanoss has it. Vanoss. So yeah, this car is not underrated, but definitely forgotten. It's probably, a lot of people probably think it's not the best considering all the other cars that are out there, especially, but they're also they're not $750,000 like the Zentorno. They're all $2 million, but I don't know if it's worth spending almost double for a second off your lap time, really. So, especially if you're new to GTA 5 online, this is definitely one of the best cars to pick up for the price, $750,000. You can do 2 heists and get this. Just start off by getting a garage, 10-car garage, but make sure it's a high-end apartment so you can get heists. But for the price, this is definitely one of the best cars. So thank you guys for watching, and tell me if you guys like these top 5s. I actually had a pretty fun time recording it. I got to customize cars in campaign, and it was just a lot of fun. So if you guys like this, remember to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream video. Bye, guys.